welcome NACCHO's president, Dr. Pramōd Dwivedī, to the stage.
Good morning. Namaste. My name is Pramōd Dwivedī, which has roots in ancient language of Sanskrit. Pramōd means the one who is blissful and is among the 1,000 names of Hindu god Vishnu. I received this name from my dear mother and father, both in the heavens now. And Dwivedī, my last name, belongs to an illustrated lineage of Vedic scholars from ancient India, with its origins estimated to date back nearly 5,000 years ago. The Vedas are a collection of ancient scriptures that form the oldest and most authoritative texts in Hinduism. They are written in Sanskrit and are considered to be the divine experiences of the ancient sages. The Vedas proclaim, and listen to this, the Vedas proclaim the profound statement, the whole planet is my family. Personally, they have been a tremendous source of inspiration for me, strengthening my belief in the inherent goodness of humanity and the unity of all living beings. Folks, now it's really so wonderful to see all of you here today. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for your attendance and active participation in this year's NACCHO Annual, which you have heard is the largest in NACCHO's annual history. So we are very happy about that. Before I proceed, I would like to acknowledge that we are on territories and ancestral homelands of Cheyenne and Arapaho nations. We acknowledge the land and history of this space we are fortunate to gather in today. This area was also the site of trade, hunting, gathering, and healing for many other native nations like Lakotas, Ute, Kiowa, Comanche, Apache, Shoshone, and many others. Nearly 50 American Indian tribes have called this land home, and I would like to recognize the indigenous peoples as the original stewards of the land, water, plants, and animals who call this place home. Let's also acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this territory. We recognize that US public policy has been used to displace indigenous communities, erode tribal nation sovereignty, and forcefully assimilate native individuals into US society. We also acknowledge the labor of enslaved Africans and their descendants who work this stolen land for the colonists and who continue to disproportionately face economic oppression, racism, violence, and exploitation. With that, I would like to honor and pay tribute to those who have paved the way for us in public health. I stand here today on the strong foundation that they have built. So with that, first, if any of the past NACCHO board presidents are present among us, I kindly request you to please stand up and be recognized. Your dedicated work and sacrifices have made a lasting impact, and we are grateful for your contributions. I also invite the past board members to stand up and be recognized for their valuable service. Your commitment to public health has been instrumental in shaping the progress we have achieved thus far. To our current board members, you guys are dear to me, as I always keep saying. I express to you my deepest appreciation. Your dedication, your leadership are shaping the future of NACCHO and the public health landscape, and I am so honored to work with each one of you. Please stand up and be recognized. Current NACCHO board members, please. Don't be shy. I don't see Alan. I want to express my gratitude to my NACCHO colleagues, especially Lori Freeman and the entire staff. Your hard work and dedication behind the scenes are crucial to the success of our organization. Folks, large events like NACCHO 360 involve many NACCHO staff members and volunteers. The behind-the-scenes work, from finding a suitable venue, designing systems to collect abstracts, organizing volunteers to review hundreds of proposed presentations, scheduling sessions and speakers, ensuring food and beverages, to creating this beautiful setup behind me. It takes the collective effort of NACCHO staff and volunteers to achieve this success. Thank you to all of our staff, volunteers, and the incredible annual conference planning committee for hosting the largest, as we've been saying, largest NACCHO 360 event in our history to date. Please stand up and be recognized. All NACCHO staff members, please. Lori, you too. You too. Last but certainly not least, I would like to extend a special acknowledgement to my incredible colleagues from Lynn County Public Health and our board chair. Your dedication, Carl Cassell is here, your dedication to public health work in Lynn County has been remarkable by all measures. I'm grateful to work with you. May I invite you to please stand up and receive recognition. All my peeps from back there. Folks, let's take a moment to applaud and show our appreciation for all these remarkable individuals who have played significant roles in advancing public health. Their contributions have made a lasting impact, and we owe them our gratitude. So everybody, thank you very much. And finally, thanks to my family, my wife Seema and daughters Katha and Charu, who are here today. So, thank you for your unwavering support and for tolerating all my idiosyncrasies that may have driven you crazy at times. Folks, it's my honor to stand before you today as the president of the National Association of County and City Health Officials. As you know, NACCHO represents over 3,000 local health departments across our nation. We are united in our mission to promote and protect the health and well-being of our communities across this beautiful nation of ours. A little bit about myself. I have already told you about my name, but let me share a few more things about myself. Folks, I am an immigrant. I am a person of color. English is not my first language. And I am an American. And I have a family that you just saw. And I am public health. My own public health journey in the United States began more than 3 decades ago when I freshly arrived from India on the campuses of the University of Iowa as a graduate student. Initially, I was enrolled to study social work, but soon I switched to a program in preventive medicine and environmental health. The subjects that I studied, which many of you are already familiar with, encompassed environmental health, epidemiology, biostatistics, as well as pathology, toxicology, infectious, chronic disease, all those things. It was a breeze. And since then, I have followed no other profession but public health all my life. By the way, I did complete my MSW. My time as an immigrant in a foreign land was far from easy. I encountered numerous challenges, from adjusting to different foods — I was vegetarian then, now I am vegan — to navigating unfamiliar cultural nuances. It was a constant reminder that I was an immigrant, and there were moments that were particularly hurtful. I remember being called an animal and witnessing Seema, my wife, being publicly berated for speaking in her language. These experiences made me pause, question, and reflect on the importance of cultural understanding and empathy. Immigration restrictions further added to the difficulties, limiting my work hours to 20 per week on campus and prohibiting off-campus employment. Additionally, my wife, who was with me, was not allowed to work either. During those early days, I spent a few weeks in a dormitory where I observed the behavior of younger American students. It was an eye-opening experience that highlighted, eye-opening experience indeed, that highlighted the differences between our cultures and reminded me of the journey I was undertaking. Despite the hardship, I'm incredibly grateful to my professors and new friends who went above and beyond to support me and help me succeed. Their guidance and assistance were invaluable in navigating the academic and personal challenges I faced. But it was unwavering support and encouragement from Seema, my wife, that truly sustained me. She has been my greatest partner and cheerleader, sharing every tear and triumph along the way. So my first introduction to public health was through a preceptorship at Johnson County Public Health in Iowa City. I was a graduate student there. From there, my professional journey led me to work in various local and state health departments. I had the privilege of serving in diverse settings, both rural and urban, from Lincoln, Lancaster. Anybody from Nebraska? To Chicago, Illinois. Anybody from there? A lot of people. And from Tennessee. No one from Tennessee? There are some people over there. To Indiana. Lots of people, yes. Meena is here. Throughout my experiences, I had the opportunity to meet incredible individuals who greatly influenced my growth and knowledge in the field of public health. And I'm truly grateful for the wisdom and insights they shared, which have enriched my understanding of the work we do. All right, folks, enough about me, but please feel free to connect with me on Twitter. You see that there. Folks, as we gather here today, we are confronted with unprecedented challenges that demand our attention. The COVID-19 pandemic has not only exposed vulnerabilities in our public health infrastructure, but has also emphasized the need for a resilient and robust system. But our challenges extend beyond the pandemic. Decades of disinvestment has crippled governmental public health system. When it comes to responding to public health emergencies, local health departments are at the front of the line. But when it comes to resources, we are back of the line, right? That has to change. We must wake up from the long years of slumber. We must find our right place in public discourse, and we must reclaim public's trust. And we must reimagine governmental public health and strive for a system that's equitable and inclusive. We are facing health disparities and inequities that have existed existed far, far too long. Our communities of color, low-income communities, and rural communities are disproportionately impacted by poor health outcomes. We cannot achieve health equity unless we address the root causes of these disparities, including systemic racism, poverty, and discrimination. We cannot achieve health equity without addressing the social drivers of health. This includes access to affordable and healthy food, safe and affordable housing, safe and healthy environments, equal employment opportunity, and healthcare and quality education. We must work together. We must work together to ensure that everyone has the chance to live a dignified life regardless of their zip code, race, or income level. All right, climate change is a public health emergency, and we must take action to mitigate its effects. This includes reducing our greenhouse gas emissions, protecting our natural resources, and preparing our communities for the impacts of extreme weather events. And as you know, I don't have to tell you, Black, Indigenous, and people of color are impacted disproportionately by climate change, such as heat, flood, food insecurity, and air pollution, and there are many others. Also, folks, we cannot overlook the urgent issue of gun violence facing our nation each day. My God, we are killing each other each day, and numbers are staggering. To tackle this complex problem, we must advocate for policies such as universal background checks, red flag laws, and firearm licensing requirements. A comprehensive public health approach is necessary to prevent gun violence and promote the well-being of our communities across this nation. Folks, it's my belief that as a society, it's imperative that we ensure women have right to choose. Women have right to choose. And I'm proud, I am indeed proud that NACCHO policy supports unrestricted access to information, enabling them to make informed decisions regarding their health and healthcare. This means guaranteeing that information is not limited by regulations, laws, or the personal beliefs of healthcare providers. Decisions regarding healthcare management should be made privately between the healthcare provider and patient. Let's not compromise women's health. Together we can use our collective power to create a space where every individual, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity, can thrive and contribute to the health and vitality of our communities. Our policies must empower schools to deliver comprehensive evidence-based sexual health education programs that cater to the diverse needs of all school-aged youth. It's crucial to prioritize the health of individuals throughout their lives, recognizing the unique needs and challenges faced by adolescents during their transition to young adulthood. Thus, a comprehensive approach to adolescent health should be supported. There is a pressing need to invest in early childhood initiatives and address the impact of adverse childhood experiences, including their connection to mental health, substance use disorders, and, of course, chronic diseases. To effectively address substance use and its associated risks, we require a comprehensive evidence-based approach that prioritizes harm reduction and equity. This approach aims to reduce the transmission of HIV, viral hepatitis, and other bloodborne diseases, prevent overdoses, and ultimately promote the health and well-being of individuals who use drugs. Investment in prevention of opioid-related deaths is paramount, and we must use opioid settlement dollars to stop the carnage. Mental health has struck us home big time, and I'm so glad that we are going to have a very, very engaging session right after my speech. While we strive to enhance the well-being of others, it's crucial that we recognize the toll it exacts on our own workforce. We cannot overlook the fact that our public health professionals are grappling with the weight of this issue. Therefore, I ask all of you to prioritize self-care, okay? And utilize the available resources to support your mental health-being, because you are taking care of others, but you need to take care of yourselves too. That's really important. All right, folks, racism in all its forms perpetuates inequities and injustices that have severe consequences on the health and well-being of individuals and communities. Racism not only denies individuals their fundamental rights, but also undermines the principle of justice and equity. Principle of justice and equity, that is the bedrock of public health, that are the bedrock of justice and equity is so essential to public health. So that's really, really important. As public health leaders, we must acknowledge and confront racism as a public health crisis head-on and work tirelessly to dismantle systemic barriers, promote inclusivity, and ensure that every person has an equal opportunity to thrive in a healthy and just society. Folks, as you know, NACCHO plays a crucial role in shaping policy stances on these critical public health issues. Through our advisory work groups, local health department members continuously develop and review policy statements that guide our work. I encourage you to explore these policy statements on the NACCHO websites. Folks, now I would like to take a moment to reflect our work in anticipation of our year ahead together. We are working together here. The already good news is that NACCHO remains strong, both financially and programmatically, as I take the helm. We have made significant advocacy strides, including the inclusion of the Public Health Student Loan Repayment Program in December's 2022 Omnibus, which is now law. Workforce is our biggest asset, as we keep saying. It's our biggest asset, our biggest infrastructure, and we must do everything to build a strong, equitable, fun-loving, and culturally sensitive workforce, all right? And also, a public health system, we also need to build a public health system which can sustain it. Let's also make sure that our workforce does not leave public health field. NACCHO remains committed to striving for local health departments across the nation to develop strong foundational capacities before another public health emergency reaches our doorsteps, and to have the resources it needs to do so. We have historically high grant revenue for NACCHO, representing continued trust by external funding agency in our ability to work with local health departments to achieve important public health outcomes. And we are able to report that NACCHO funding returned to public health departments in the way of sub-awards and contracts have totaled $18 million so far this fiscal year and represent which represents a return of over 13 times your average dues to NACCHO. So think about that, folks. If you are not a NACCHO member, please consider becoming one now. And we want to continue to encourage new ways toward direct funding to local health departments where and when it makes sense. You have already heard that our board has been hard at work to revise our strategic planning initiatives for the next 2 years. And I look ahead to working with our board of directors, to fully implement these new strategies as your president. As public health professionals, we have a unique and critical role to play in addressing the challenges that I just described, but we must work together with our partners in government, in academia, and the private sector to build a strong, equitable, and sustainable public health infrastructure and system. After all, folks, public health is a team sport. And we must stay relentless in our collective pursuit to improving public health in our communities. Folks, I am deeply and truly and genuinely honored to lead NACCHO during these challenging times. And I am committed to working with all of you to build a healthier, equitable, joyous, kind, loving, and caring future for our communities in the United States and beyond. I hope you are enjoying the conference, reconnecting with colleagues, and just having fun. But please do take care of yourselves. Thank you very much.